Welcome to Hacking Founders.
where we are unlocking the secrets of leadership and innovation so you can learn from others' experiences.
I'm Brother Elana, Head of Design and Innovation at Rocketband.
I'm Tamara Medina, leadership and business expert from Shapowaloa Solutions.
Stay with us. At the end of the podcast, we have our special collaborator, the AI Roulette, who will hack our guests with some challenging questions.
Our guest today is Sandra Sinicco. She is the CEO of LatamScaleUp, specializing in facilitating international expansion for European and Latin American companies. She leads initiatives such as LatamEdge Awards, BrazilTech Awards, while serving as a board member of UTech Chamber Latin American chapter. As a founder of GrupoCASA, a strategic communication company in London, and LatamPR Network, she has established herself as a vital connector between Latin American innovation and global markets. Hello, Sandra. Thank you for joining us today. I know I have known Sandra for quite a few years. She has some amazing projects that we already mentioned some at the beginning, but definitely Sandra will be sharing more with all of us. But to start with, I would like to take you a little bit back. I would like to take you a little bit at maybe the early beginnings of Sandra when you were a young girl, maybe. When did you discover, or when did you start, or did you always have this this passion of becoming an entrepreneur, of starting a business? How did it all started?
Well, no. my my aim was to become a diplomat and then a dancer, ballerina. And no, I didn't have this mindset to be an entrepreneur, but my parents were all entrepreneurs. So my my aunt was a designer, a fashion designer. All my family in Italy, because I'm from Italy. Well, I've been born in Brazil, but all my family is in Italy. So all them were entrepreneurs. And my father created a factory in Brazil, so an industry. And then I saw and I lived in this environment. But when I studied, then I went to Europe to stay for a while. And when I came back, there was a dictatorship in Brazil. And I started to notice, because I used to live in a bubble, the differences between poor and rich and all this injustice that was all around. And then I decided to move to journalism. And while doing this, I was working, I then did the stage in Europe for 1 year in several media and several institutions. And when I came back to Brazil, I decided to work in newspapers. And during one of these journeys, I met someone, president of a company, that wanted me to be his PR agent. I never worked as a PR or something like that. But then he started to push me so far that he was calling me every day. You need to quit your job. You have a client. You have a client. I don't care about clients. I don't want to do this. But then he was so pushy. And then I decided to quit the job. And okay, let's move and build up a company. And then it was it. So I started to provide services for this client, which was the technology exhibition, one of the big exhibitions in Brazil, about technology and innovation, etc. And so after that, I started to like the entrepreneurship part, the challenges, the rhythm, and everything. And so I forgot myself in this journey, and I went to it. But normally, I wouldn't have thought about being an entrepreneur. After several years of doing this, I noticed that I loved this kind of work, and so I started to push every day more, etc., and doing a lot of entrepreneurships with several people, persons, alone, always creating things.
And how did you make the move from a PR agency to start working in technology and with technology companies?
Yes, well, from my point of view, it's because PR is very limited from my point of view. So it's okay, you build up strategies, etc., but it was a small world for me. So since I was working in technology and providing services for all these technologies companies, most of them coming from abroad to Brazil and to Latin America, I started to explore other skills. And so I studied a lot, not only in marketing, but in business, in governance, in several things. And by doing this, I started to notice that I had the skills to support companies while expanding abroad, but mainly not looking at the legal side, legal part, or the finance part, not this, but the strategies, the commercial strategies, the marketing strategies, and the strategic liaisons that you need to do when you're expanding abroad. So I did this for several companies, some of them that are iconic, like Waze, Google, Xiaomi, and others, that are not so famous, but all are in technology, biotech, clean tech, this kind of stuff. So because this is also another side of me, that in the beginning of the 90s, I was an environmentalist, strong and committed with environmental issues. And so I took part in an NGO that we created, and that was fighting against the destruction of the Amazon jungle, the rainforest, the beaches, and everything. So my role in this NGO was to provide counter information. So by doing this, I developed a lot of skills in strategic mindset. And so in order to make things happen. And this was a key element also for the kind of mindset that I have nowadays.
That's amazing. So you mentioned about those working with those tech companies. Do you work with other sectors or just?
Most of them at the beginning, because I started my company in 1987, there was no laptop, no cellular phone, the internet was not there. So at the beginning, the companies were more focused in mainframes, in research. I had a company also, Silicon Graphics, and there were several companies that were from abroad because technology was not so developed here in Brazil. But also I did the campaigns for the Brazilian technology, and lots of experiences. And after that, when we saw the Apple rise of the Macintosh, etc., and then the desktop, and after that the laptop and cellular phones, my migration was more to the SaaS, to the software part, to the consultancy part, to the everything that had to do with solutions brought not by equipments but by software. So my skills are more focused on this area, not
Amazing.
not
So
hardware.
you mentioned about you started when most of us we weren't even knowing everything. So how has been in terms of as an entrepreneur the tech involving and on the ways you were operating before and now, how dramatically changed for you?
Well, first of all, we had typing machines, and we had to paper, a lot of paper, and archives and all this stuff. But as soon as Macintosh arrived, I started to develop with a friend of mine a network of Macintoshes in my company. I think it was one of the first ones to have a network working together, connecting all the laptops together. Because normally we used to use the diskette, and in order to put it, so one content to the other machine, etc., etc. But I was thinking this was so stupid to do that, and then we created a network of desktops, and by testing this, we gain a lot of productivity, and after a while, I think 1 year after, then Apple created the network between the laptops, etc. And so we moved on very quickly and very fast to this. We had also connections, dialed connections at that point, and it was very, very lazy connections. So when you see nowadays that I used to have an office with, I don't know, 100 people, with lots of people going and coming, etc. And nowadays I have the same office, everything online, and they can work from home, and you connect with everybody. I connect with you. Like, and
Mhm.
it's so different because the online and then offline are two worlds where we serve uh,
Mhm.
online and offline all the time, and this is very common nowadays. But at that point it was very restrictive because you have to move your body to a place in order
Mhm.
to meet someone or to call by phone, and it's different. You don't see the person, you don't develop a relationship. And well, you need to connect in person also, but after that you can develop a relationship, a long-term relationship, only online. Or it's not uh, it's not mandatory that you need to go to see the person all the time. It's
I can
completely.
second that. We have an agency fully remote since the beginning. We started early 2000s, me and my business partner, creating video games that time, and we weren't very far apart, but it was less than 100 kilometers apart. But we were using the um, Microsoft Messenger. But then it was the WhatsApp, and that
Yes.
was it. That was it. Everything is like, hey, yeah, come to this, and back then the cloud was email, so we were sending us each other. It was very primitive and FTPs and all that stuff. But yeah, things that have changed, and even if we weren't very into the um, paper, but we were relating, but because we knew each other, and I think remote teams they have a way to be. Not everyone is not for everyone, but I think it's a way to to create a fully remote team, but is the mindset and obviously transparency and communication. Yeah.
Yes, and also the procedures change. Nah? Google, when I got the Google account, Google was landing in Brazil, and I started to understand the way they were working, and I thought, Jesus Christ, my company is very old fashioned. I need to change everything here. And then I started to build up a new strategy. And in the year 2000, I migrated my company to almost everything online. And this was very drastic, because most of my competitors, they said, oh, she broke, she's now having problems, she's not going to stay in the market anymore, because they didn't understand. But in my point of view, this was mandatory to be more happy, because to deal with all the HR, the finance, everything, you lose a lot of time, and you are not so productive as, in my point of view, for my type of life, as you were in online world. So for me, it was mandatory. And the ones that didn't want to follow up this journey, they decided to quit. It's okay, no problem. But I was really, really convinced that I needed to change. And so when the pandemic arrived, and everything from internet is now the AI and all this stuff, for me it's not a big change, because
You're
I
ready.
built it. It's not so difficult for me. I introduced AI as soon as it started, and to deliver something that was more feasible to work on. And we are always testing everything. And it's I am the only certainty that I have is that the world is mobile, is changing all the time, and well, you need to adapt, and you need to catch the wave.
With
Yeah.
And talking about changes, one of the things that I've known you for is really for your support of companies, especially scaling companies. You have founded 2 awards, so it will be very interesting if you can share with us your journey on how did this happen? Like, what was that progression for you as far as giving all that support and helping those companies to expand internationally. And also, if you can share with us the common challenges that you see companies when they are expanding, especially companies in Latin America going international, and vice versa.
Yes, the award started by a bet in London with my partners, and they were saying Latin America has nothing to show to the world. Latin America sucks. Latin America, there's no innovation there, etc., etc. And so I told them, you're wrong. You're completely ignorant. There are a lot of things happening, and we need to show UK and Europe that something is happening there. And so we started the challenge. So, oh, let's do an award then. Let's do an award and show if what you're saying is right. If it's not, okay, no problem. Okay. And so we started by promoting this award, and we had the luck to being supported by the London and Partners and the first award, and others from the UK, like legal companies, accountancies, etc. And we started pushing the market to show off what they had as innovation. During this journey, we did 5 awards by now, and we're preparing the next one probably the next year. Uh, I understood that in some point the my partners were right. So it's not that there's no innovation, there is, but we're not prepared. The Latin Americans entrepreneurs in general are not prepared to expand abroad. Say they're not, they don't have the global mindset. The markets are so huge here in Latin America that they think that only a local market can provide all the resources that they need. And this is wrong thinking, in my point of view, because by doing this, they stay separated from the rest of the world. They don't connect so often. And by not connecting so often, they lose the opportunity. They lose the connection with others that are innovating also. And these interchanges of ideas are mandatory to make a company that is really successful. So we have here, for example, in Brazil, a very strong fintech market, financial market, because we had a high inflation in the 70s, in the 80s. And so the banking system developed due to the necessity, the needs, a huge support in technology that allowed them not to lose so much money every day. So this developed the financial market, and so nowadays we can compete with several fintechs and several banks in the world because we had this challenge. No? But in the other sectors, there are so many things to do in biotech, in health tech, and in, I don't know, clean tech, smart cities. There's so many challenges, and they still keep doing the things in a way that's only focused in local solutions without taking care or pay attention in other countries where the same problem is happening far, far before. And so they lose the opportunity to connect and then develop a leapfrog. And so that's why 2 years ago, I created with the Birmingham enterprise community a program to prepare these entrepreneurs to develop a global mindset. And by doing that, we understood also that the language barrier was also another key element of separation of this region from the rest of the world. And nowadays, I did a retrofit, a change in this program, and I created this program in Portuguese for Brazilians with the local university here, the University of São Paulo. And now we are doing this program in this way in order to understand if this is going to be valuable for them, because we need to change the mindset. And also I took part in the G20 document that was written because Brazil was assuming the presidency of the G20 this year. No? Now they passed to South Africa. But during this year, we worked with a team of experts in startups and scale ups in a document it's very interesting. And in this document, with all the key elements that you need to pay attention when building up a startup in our countries and connecting with the other, we inserted the global mindset concept in this document. And so this document nowadays is trying to pave a journey considering the global mindset nowadays, because it's an official document. as delivered to Lula, President Lula, to everybody, to all the members of the G20. And so we believe that this is going to help and contribute to change their mindset.
Mhm.
Let's see what happens. If you want, I can send you the document. It's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It will be very interesting for us as well. I have a little follow-up question on that. That you talk a little bit about the challenges of the kind of Latin American companies. That mainly one of them, the big ones, is the global mindset. And from your perspective, also working with so many companies from other countries landing into Brazil, what are the advantages for companies in Europe, for example, in Latin America? Is something that we talk and discuss a lot in the past. Of it's a huge potential for them, and sometimes the raise of awareness is not there of all these opportunities. So, if you could share maybe three key opportunities or things that you feel that companies should know about Latin America, that would be great.
Yes, if we start by saying that Latin America is one of the most connected region of the world, mainly Brazil. Brazil, everybody has two cellular phones at least, and they are tech savvy. So they want to connect, they are connected. So for companies that have solutions that use the cellular phone, mainly the cellular phone, this is a huge, huge market. You have in the region 600 million inhabitants, and also in Brazil 220 inhabitants. So it's a big market. But one thing that the foreigners need to understand is that the way of doing business in Brazil is a little bit different than the way of doing business in other countries. So you need to have be very patient, very organized, and very sensitive about things that matter to the Brazilians. I had several experiences of companies that tried to enter this country. I'm talking about Brazil more because it represents almost 70% of all the market in technology now. But several companies that tried to enter this country by using an arrogant position and coming saying what we need to do, not talking in Portuguese, not caring about understanding the local culture, and they failed. They failed because they tried to impose a model that was not fitted to this market. So this market has different things, like we have installments all the time. We pay in installments. We don't pay cash. We there are lots of things that need to be noticed and that are mandatory for the success of the business. So to be more humble is something that it's mandatory here, and to have patience, because sometimes you see a Brazilian talking to you and they're saying, oh yeah, let's do, and you never heard about him anymore and her anymore. So they forget, they don't answer emails. It's not that they don't want, but you need to do things in another way. You need to think in a different way after passing the equator. You pass the equator, that change your mind. It's different. And then if the person, the leader or the CEO, etc., doesn't have this kind of mindset, it will probably fail. I remember when I was first talking to one of the founders of Waze, and he was saying to me, well, your country is really a mess. I don't understand anything that you do, why you do this way. I'm Israeli. I I'm tough. I need to do it, and I do it. So take care of the things that you need to do. Tell me what are results, and I don't care. I don't care. And that was the success of the all the journey, because he understood that he didn't have the time to understand our culture. He needed to have someone in local that he could trust, and was not going to do a big mess. And he followed this path, and this was really intelligent from his point of view, and it was a success. We had luck, but the product was very good. We had several challenges, but we had luck in our strategies that worked at that point. And so we started from 320 and 300,000 users, and went to 2 million, 1 million and 100 users in 6 months. At that point, with that internet, there was no, this was not the internet that we have now. It was really a challenge, and it was okay. So, and we stayed with Waze until it was bought by Google. And then we stayed with Google 1 year after the sale, because we had to do the phase out in a very proper way. So this was also a key element for ways to stay alive.
That's very interesting. I like the concept that you mentioned about it wasn't the tech, it wasn't the internet. It was more about the user case, and this is what we usually say to our clients. We're building those Oscar products and everything, and they're convinced that we need more tech, more AI, and everything. It's like, no, you need to have a business case first. You need to have those users, they want to use your solutions first, and then tech. Today, well, you've been experiencing all the evolution. Tech is not the problem today. It's mainly what mm, you know even if it's redundant, but which problem are you solving, and then you can use the tech.
Yes, this guy from Waze wrote a book,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
Solve the problem. No,
Fall in love with the problem, not the solution, no?
fall in love with the problem, not the solution. And
Very
now
good
we
one.
launched it in Brazil also. And this book is very good, very good, because it's like a manual for entrepreneurs, and it tells all the journey of not only Waze but other companies, because after Waze he founded or supported at least 12 companies that some of them were successful, like Move It, and others failed. And it is very interesting about when he talks about the failures, and the importance of the failures. And this is another thing here in Brazil. You blame the failures, you hide the failures, you have shame, you are ashamed of failures. And this is not part of the Israeli culture. It's completely the opposite. So, and this is very important to understand why people failed. And so I care very much about this, and I'm always looking for stories about failures in order not to blame, but to understand and learn from it. This is mandatory, I think.
This is also one of the reasons why we do the program, because they say we never going to have time to do all the failures ourselves. So we need to be learning from others.
Yes.
And before we go to AI roulette, I would like to ask you, Sandra, what is your next challenge or your next goal? What are you focused on? Where is your focus at this point?
At this point, as I said, I have two companies. One is a PR company, and the other one is the consultancy for startups and scale-ups. For next year, I'm planning to do the LatamEdge Award again, but I'm changing completely the way of doing it. Because I think nowadays there are so many awards and so many things that I don't think I have value anymore. With this kind of, there are web summits, super summits, London Tech Week, all the things. And so I am trying to catch up more value to the award by connecting the winners or the semifinalists with venture capitalists, and by having a deep dive experience of touching base with the UK ecosystem of innovation. No? This is one thing that I'm going to focus on, but if I don't get it, I won't do it. I won't do the award, because I only believe that the award will have value if he changes all the time and follows up the trends. No? And another thing is the program that I've created with the University of São Paulo. We need to put it going all the time, and so there's a lot of efforts that we are going to do nowadays in spreading out the world, webinars, and interchanging, because all the teachers are entrepreneurs. They are not teachers, they're entrepreneurs that are living abroad. So and most of them speak English, speak Portuguese. So there's a bunch of collaborators that are very, very good, that did major things in expanding their companies. And it's a rare constellation of teachers that I want to preserve. And so this is another thing that I'm going to focus on. Also, we brought here in Brazil the Tech Brazil Advocates, which is a branch of Global Tech Advocates. And we have now 900 advocates. And we are creating, now we started and we already have 60 local advocates in Brazil. So there are hubs, local hubs, that are discussing technology and innovation in Brazil. 60 is not so easy to manage. Lots of people, lots of things to do. And my focal point will be to convince my board, that I formed a board of directors, that we need to put in progress a program to, or a strategy to make this institution financially viable. So my focal point will be to build up a strategy how to get money in order to hire people, and because this is growing so much, and we are having webinars with ministers in Brazil, people that are very, very important. So we're doing a lot of things, and it's not possible only with the voluntary work. And there are some other projects related to companies that I'm bringing to Brazil, like I'm doing the expansion of Pulpo here. It's a platform that discovers fake brands in the e-commerces, and so we delete them from the e-commerces. And this company is growing in Brazil. I'm the official representative here. in Brazil nowadays. And there are two other companies from UK related to shopping centers, malls, etc., that have a lot of technology in a way to make a user find out the shop and the product in a very savvy and fast way. So I have lots of things to do in this area, but I think it's enough. And a
Wow.
lot of trips also.
We will need to invite you for the second season, Sandra, to keep us posted. So I think it's the time to call our collaborator, AI Roulette, and see what kind of, we have a big disclaimer here, Sandra. So we is something that is out of our control, but I think it's is well behaving. So let's see what it says.
Hacking.
So, what's the most challenging feedback you received from your team, and how did you respond to it? Interesting.
From my team,
Your team, your I don't know if we can replace it to
well,
clients or
from from clients or board members was that I have a lot of ideas and I'm always working on ideas. And I was talking to a founder that very is globally famous, and he told me, "You don't have to follow up this idea because you're gonna fail." And then I hated that. I hated that. I was so mad. I was so pissed off. And then, but he was trying to help me, and from his perspective, he thought it was a stupid idea, not in a way of being stupid, but and it didn't fit to the market that I was going to improve it or fix it. And this was make me feel very, very angry. And from my employees, I always stimulate the contradictory opinion, and I like to discuss like an Italian. I'm always discussing with everybody. And so I like when I admire when someone comes and says, no, you're wrong. I like that. Uh, Even if they think I don't show it, but I love it. And I respect much, much more people that are suggesting new improvements, but suggesting, not just saying, no, it's wrong. Wrong. Why?
yeah, you need to debate. You
Yeah,
are
I
more
love
into
it.
let's agree
Yes,
to disagree. I think it's the
yes, yes, yes. I love it.
yeah.
And
I'm also
I learned,
challenging sometimes our clients. They questioning because I'm putting so much questions about the ideas, the market they're gonna address, and it's not our job. We're just designing and building stuff, but I'm trying to understand why you're making this and what is the reasons, and if you don't do homework, because we will do ours. Building tech, as I said earlier, is not the problem. We have our challenges, connecting things and implementing new tech, but then is you invest the money, is their responsibility and ours to understand that yeah we do something, and we put in those challenging questions, and at some point some of them they said, are you sure you want to work with me? Because we were really digging into like, and why
yeah,
this and that. Do you think someone would love to create this app? And they were questioning themselves like, are you sure? It's like, well, we need to understand this. So yeah.
yes, I love to understand all the process, and not only to see the task that I need to do or something like that. So if I don't understand all the process, I can't perform. It's impossible for me. So I need to dig into it, and that's why. And then you learn a lot about different sectors, different areas, and. And so it's really challenging, but also very nice to learn all the time. I love to learn, and I love the persons that are challenging all the time. That's what I like.
It's always good to know, like who's the person challenging, as you were saying, is somebody you admire, you respect. It's about kind of really makes you think and analyze, where is that person coming from. And sometimes it's good when somebody tells you, you shouldn't be doing that. And sometimes it's about just go against what the people tell you.
Yes, in this case, well, I don't respect so much because it's just no, and then no, why not? No. Then it remembers my father. I don't like it. So that's it.
Maybe one more.
You want to try? Yeah.
One
Are
more.
you
Another one.
another one?
Let's
Okay,
try
come
that
on.
one more.
Yes.
Let's see what it says. What's the most embarrassing moment you experienced as a founder, and how did you recover it from it? Be honest, Sandra. Be honest.
Well, sometimes as a founder, it's when you don't have the skills to do something that you think you can do. And then you recognize that, well, I need to study a lot more. I thought I knew, but I don't know. So this is embarrassing. I feel very bad about that. And the way to recover is to study, to go to the books and try to dig and move on. I am normally not so easy to embarrass. I don't feel, because I think everybody can do errors, and I think an error is a mistake is normal for me. But I feel that there's some people that they stay like mortified about an error, but that's not my case. I always try to. It's embarrassing, but you need to move on. It's part of the work. And sometimes when you are in a situation where someone invited to you to do something that was not planned and change everything, and it's embarrassing for me when something that was agreed is not put in place. I hate that. It's well, I don't like it. It's different. It's not embarrassing. I don't like it.
I think
And
you already said something very that maybe encapsulates very beautifully what you're saying, is like stay humble. No? So it doesn't matter what happened, and be able to say, actually I don't know. I thought I did, but I don't.
yes, it's a question of. It's like when you have some people here in Brazil that I don't speak English perfectly, so I can't go abroad. I can't speak. Well, you're Brazilian. You're not a British born person, so you can speak whatever you want. They don't speak Portuguese. Okay, so
Precisely.
what's the point? I think the perfection and everything so much perfect is not. I prefer to move on, and learn fast. This is the way I think, but so need to move on.
Thank you for listening. Join the conversation, follow, like, and subscribe on our different platforms.
This podcast was brought to you by Rocket Van, Chapo Solutions, and Harrington Blue and Partners.